Gotham Episode 5, Viper. Definitely a great episode for the season. I think it was really cool about the fact that we got to see a little bit of Bruce and we got to really see him get into Wayne Enterprises, and we even learned a lot of interesting things about Wayne Enterprises, and more interesting the Wellsine stuff, because it kind of seemed like they were hinting at the fact that some people that technically work within Wayne Industries are the ones that killed off Bruce's parents. So it was a really cool episode for that, even though those portions were really small and the actual connection to Wayne Enterprises didn't really come in until the second half of the episode when they were really getting some details down, because well as I knew, like if we don't get on top of this before they come to us, things are really going to get screwed over. They're going to find things that we don't want them to find, like the warehouse at the end of this episode. I'm sure the people knew that they had stuff there, and they figured, well, if he gets busted, he's going to rat us out, so let's clear out the facility, and for some reason just leave like one beaker. Like, didn't, like, it just randomly stood out to me. Like, you clear out the entire thing, but you left like a beaker. It was weird. But I really enjoyed the episode. I thought the actual, I guess, sort of villain of the episode was one of those characters who, in a way, was a vigilante. He was way worse than any other vigilante because, of course, he was just killing random people off. It wasn't like he was killing off criminals. He was just killing off people. Like, here's a drug that really isn't good for you because it'll make you super strong for like less than a day or maybe a day, and then you'll get crushed literally by your own weight because your bones don't work anymore the way they're supposed to. Excuse me. But it was a great episode. I thought it was really interesting how they played through everything. Of course, there were kind of two stories, almost three. It kind of blended into two at the end when they mixed the actual villain with Wayne Tech, just Wayne Enterprises. But the stuff they had with Penguin in this episode was also really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I was really excited to see how things went down in this episode based on the preview, because they showed Penguin telling Maroni that he used to work for Falcone and Fish Mooney, and he slammed his head on the table. So I was really curious, like, what's gonna happen in this episode, and we get to find out that because Jim and Penguin have the same story, Maroni lets him go because he has a real asset now, and he knows that if Fish Mooney was trying to kill this guy off, he's not going to go back to her because he'll get killed off. And of course, Jim won't tell anyone because then he'll get killed off as well, which would also happen if Penguin went back. So I really enjoyed that, and my favorite part about it really is not the fact that Penguin is just one step closer to being Penguin, especially since they keep calling him Penguin now. That's just going to be his name and throughout the series, I believe, at least for Maroni and his people. But Jim now being tied into both sides of this giant gang war is going to be very, very dangerous for him, because Maroni knows the secret now, and as he put in this episode, if he needs him, he's going to call him, and people are going to need to know his whereabouts. If you're in certain areas of the city, I think certain people are going to know he went here, so he may have gone to see this person if he wasn't just traveling to see his wife, who, odds are, anyone who would be curious as to where Jim goes could probably just look up where his wife works, because he works with a cop and people who know a bunch of dirty cops. So I can't wait to see how that kind of blows up in his face. I'm sure it will, because for one, it already blew up in his face, him getting pulled in even more. And two, when things like this happen, when one person suddenly becomes incredibly powerful, you kind of suspect how, you have to wonder, how do they get so powerful? How do they know all these crazy secrets? And it's probably going to be found out that Penguin is still alive and that Jim didn't kill him, but that most likely won't happen, too soon. I'm sure if they do that at all this season, it won't be until the season finale, and of course, neither Jim or Penguin are going to die, so something's going to happen out of that. But I thought it was really good. We also got to see yet another player in the gang war, which is the guy that Fish is actually working with. And so we find out in this episode that she isn't just working on her own. She isn't the only person that wants Falcon to just go down. It's other people, or at least this one guy. So the two of them are actually working together. And we don't get too much of that. They're just keeping up appearances and then sleeping together at the end of the episode. But they're going to be working together, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of that guy, even though I really don't remember his name. I'm sure they said it, but it's like, for now, he's just that other guy who's working with Fish Mooney. But we also got to see her really work with the girl that she hired as her new secret weapon. And by the end of this episode, her training is complete, and she sort of gets in contact with Falcone, and things are just gonna go down that path. And odds are he's gonna bring her to the club with Fish, and they'll have to act like they don't know each other. But I can't wait to see how things play out. And if she gets busted because she's not doing a good enough job, then that'll once again just throw things off in the gang war. But I can't wait to see how all that stuff plays out in conjunction with the Penguin stuff, because that's all just one big storyline that's gonna kind of destroy the city even worse than the condition that it's in now. But it was a great episode. I really enjoyed all the different storylines. I didn't think anything really fell to the wayside in this episode. They used everything the way they wanted to use it, and I think it went well. There were little bits and pieces that were just like, well, that person was in there. Like, they had the Riddler in there again in this episode, and he's just, all his scenes are really just super tiny, and he's just really weird because he's always excited for something that's not exactly supposed to be exciting to people. So when the woman went crazy and then her body just collapsed, he was just like, fascinating, and he's just smiling about it. So it's just little bits and pieces for him. I really want to see how crazy they make him when he becomes the Riddler, but I don't know if they're really going to do that anytime soon, because he's actually working with them, and they probably want to kind of string us along and wait, because they're really working on Penguin now. So they might kind of do that where we get Penguin this season and maybe next season as well, and once Penguin is officially the Penguin, then they'll work on the Riddler, and he'll eventually leave the GCPD for whatever reason, and then he'll work on becoming who he's meant to be in Batman. So I can't wait till we get through that. But for now, he's just Enigma, and he's just being weird and excited about death and stuff like that. But enjoyed the episode, definitely cool. Love the reference to Bane when they mentioned that they changed Viper to Venom once they kind of got the kinks out. So they put in a cool little reference to Bane in there, which sadly won't come to fruition until way down the line for Batman. So we won't really be getting Bane, but we might get more stuff, because Wollzine is apparently going to be a really big part of the season now, because like I said, they introduced the fact that some people within Wayne Enterprises may have been the ones to kill off the Waynes, and Bruce is going to go on the hunt for them. He's going to find out some weird stuff that's going on. He's got into some of these business practices, and he's been looking into the things about Arkham and how people have gotten certain illegal things done. So I'm excited to see how the rest of the series plays out. And he even got Alfred to help him out in the end, because Alfred realized that he's not just being really forceful towards this because he lost his parents and he wants to find out stuff just to do something, but he's really got a purpose, and it's a purpose worth fighting for, because things are really going crazy. So it was cool to see Alfred help out towards the end, and they didn't really exchange words. Bruce just looked and he smiled and sort of laughed a little. So I can't wait to see how that really plays out throughout the rest of the series as well. But overall, this might have been my favorite episode. I think every separate little storyline was really well done. The stuff with Fish was admittedly my least favorite, but I'm not saying it was bad. It's just, out of all the stuff they had with Penguin, where he might get killed off even though it's Penguin, so he wasn't. All of that I thought was really well done. The main story, especially because it tied into Wayne Enterprises and they introduced all these different elements with a lot of corruption going on within the company that could have been the reason the Waynes died. That's definitely why it was so well done to me. And just getting to see Bruce sort of go out in the world. We actually saw him leave the house, and he wasn't just talking in the gym, or he wasn't just with the cops again. He left and went to a charity event that was sort of thrown off by his parents. So that was really cool, and I enjoyed the episode. Of course, comment below, let me know what you guys thought about it, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And this episode introduced, like I said, a very big plot point that may or may not be true. Of course, it's all speculation at this point. But do you guys think that the Waynes were killed off by people within their own company? Or do you think it was really just someone in the mob family, someone in the mob world just trying to throw things off and try to make their move? I don't think Fish did it herself, especially with the fact that she was trying to set someone else up, but you never really know who did it. So do you guys think it was someone in the mob world or someone that was actually within Wayne Enterprises? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.